Alright, you guys, with Christianity, we basically want to make sure that we don't accept a form of Christianity that is anybody else's other than God's, right? We want to make sure that we aren't given a form of Christianity, told you have to follow this form of Christianity, and that's not from God. This is why Christ always talks about listening to his voice. My sheep know my voice. Moses meets God when he's alone. Elijah listens to God's voice. All these spiritual people have an encounter with God alone. It's just them and God. At the end of the day, your purpose in life it really comes down to you and God and what God has for your mission. You have to listen to that. You have to listen to God, and God is spirit. So this is why we have to step into the spiritual realm, spiritual world. You have to, everybody's spiritual in some way. Even if you're listening to this and you're not a spiritual religious person, you're still a spirit. You're still a spiritual person. Every single day you're in a certain spirit. You're in a certain mindset that creates a certain spirit. You're in a certain energy that creates a certain spirit. But we want to make sure that we have the truest form of spirit. This is why Christ says, my followers in the future must worship in spirit and in truth, because that's all there's going to be, is spirit and truth. What we have right now, 2021, and this is the first video recorded in 2021 on this channel, is you had no church last year. You had no, stuff was shut down. Everything was reset. Because everything was reset, everyone's just looking for, like, what's the purest foundational form of religion and spirituality? What's the purest form of it to go back to? Churches are just trying to stay open. Ministers are just trying to keep their churches together. A lot of churches shut down because there was no money coming in. So God basically shut down all these churches. God shut down all of these temples, and he did that many times in the Bible. He would just shut down temples because his people were acting a certain way, shut down temples because he wanted his people to move and get in a different direction. He wanted to readjust the law. He wanted to readjust the purpose of his people. So a lot of times when the temple was shut down, you have Malachi 3, where what does he require of you but to do justice, to love mercy, to walk humbly with God. He shut the temples down. It's like, hey, I don't care about all the worship service as much as I care about doing justice, loving mercy, walking humbly with God. So God last year shut down everything with COVID. The whole world was shut down, churches were shut down, and then you had a situation like Breonna Taylor, you had a situation like George Floyd, and in those situations, we needed to see justice. So we go back to those truest, most purest forms of spirituality and religion and Christianity, which is doing justice, loving mercy, walking humbly with God. All three of those things are things you deal with yourself on. That's not something you can go and meet with the community and get. It's not something you can go and praise enough and get, or hear a preacher and get. That's all three things that you're responsible for doing. Doing justice, doing what's right, doing what you know to be what's right, loving mercy, knowing when you don't need to do something, knowing when you need to love your neighbor, be kind to your neighbor, be peaceful, settle things, and then to walk humbly with God. You're constantly going towards God. This is the whole Matthew 6:33, to seek first the kingdom of God. So when we're seeking the kingdom of God, when I'm seeking the kingdom of God, and sometimes you're shedding skin, you're learning new beliefs, new ideologies, you're having those different beliefs and ideologies, you're going on the right path. A lot of times Christians, we're made to feel bad for questioning things or to look at things in a certain type of way, but that's what you're supposed to do. If you're seeking something, if you're seeking the kingdom of God and you're seeking something out, you're seeking that truth, you're going to search, you're going to ask questions, you're going to investigate, you're going to cross-reference, you're going to search, you're going to seek. So we're not talking about a conversion process, we're talking about seeking the kingdom of God and seeking truth, and that's what we're going to continue doing, seeking the truth, extracting the truth out of Christianity. Christianity has become a form, it's become a religion that's been influenced by politicians, kings and queens, wars. It's been influenced by languages, education levels, political status, and access to the scriptures and the knowledge. So it's been influenced by all of these things. And as seekers of the kingdom of God, you want to extract the truth from all of that. So that's what we're doing on this channel, and that's what we're going to keep focusing on this channel. And regardless of, if we speak about other things and have other people on here speak about other topics, that will be the main the main momentum that we're moving in, is what are Black Christians' role in this world in this generation. In this generation, what is Black Christians' role in the world, and what does doing justice, loving mercy, and walking humbly with God look like in 2021? You guys know what was really interesting at the Capitol riots last week was it was real funny. The woman who got shot, she's rolling out. They're there, white supremacists are there, and the woman who gets shot, she's rolling out, and it's two brothers. It's one brother, he's on her, helping her, pumping the heart, and it's another brother holding the bags and the equipment with locks. And I'm like, wow, look at that. You up here with white supremacy, and it's two brothers trying to keep you alive on your way out. And the brother with the locks, he had me cracking up. I'm watching him on the news. His head was on the swivel. He looking around. He's like, man, don't think I won't, because I mean, it's a crowd of white supremacists out there, and it was just those two brothers I saw, who I'm like, why they have to go in and get this woman and save this woman. So that was really telling, that even in those situations, it's still some Black people trying to save this individual. So we're going to stay safe. We're going to continue to move forward. We're going to continue seeking the kingdom of God. You guys go ahead and support and drop it in the Cashapp, PayPal. Know your story. Keys Ministry is to know your story. It's for Black Christians to know your story, and we want to just keep this going on. You guys be safe. You guys be good, and we'll be back on here tomorrow. All right, peace.